Welcome back to the Substitutes. And today I want to talk about the Qatar World Cup. I don't want to talk about why it was awarded to Qatar. That ship has sailed, and we're going to have a video on that later on. So check it out next week when we do publish that. I want to talk about where this World Cup has been placed in the calendar year. Now, since 2020, football has had a lot of stoppages, and that is simply down to COVID. Now, because of COVID, there was a break in football. And then when leagues were restarted, most of them anyway, they had to play in a very congested schedule. And then there was a break at the end of the season, and some clubs only got a few weeks before the next season started. And that was a congested season as well. And there were a lot of breaks during that season because of COVID. Now, we finally got into this year, and this is the season where the World Cup starts. It's starting in a week or so, probably a bit longer. But yeah, I really actually don't know when it starts. That's how little I care about the World Cup and international football. What I really want to get down to it is the crux of how many players have been injured and how this is going to impact players going forward. Now, let's look at it for England. Ben Chilwell, Reece James. Those are the two players that have been injured. For Germany, you've got Timo Werner. For Portugal, you've got Diogo Jota and you've got Pedro Neto. For France, you've got Kante and Pogba. And this isn't going to be the last you hear of injuries. And one of the big reasons why this is going to be the case is because these players are playing a lot of football in a short period of time. Now, there is an argument that some fans make that they're paid millions of pounds. They should just shut up and play football. And look, I get where they're coming from, but you're not really taking into the accounts the limits of the human body. There's only so much it can take, no matter how many millions you throw at it, right? Like, there's only so many limits that you can take. So what it really boils down to is that the FAs, FIFA, UEFA, they don't really care about football players. All they care about is revenue and how much they can get out of adding more to the calendar. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Look, I get there were extenuating circumstances because of COVID, but it's gotten to a point where it's ridiculous. And when is enough? When is it going to be enough? I just think that there should be more care to football players. To some, the World Cup matters quite a lot. It doesn't to me, but I know that it's a big thing for a lot of countries. So I just think that you should have the best players at the World Cup. You need to take care of your players as well. And you need to understand that they're not machines. I know that sports science has taken it to the next level. Recovery is not what it was 20 years ago. But at the same time, like, there's only so much their body can go through. It's been a really poorly placed World Cup. Look, I'm going to be excited to see it to an extent. It's football. But yeah, I'm not sure why. Like, the consideration that they give to football players is nil. And they've been talking about it for years and years. Too much football, like where matches are taking place in the calendar, especially let's say after there's a Champions game and a Champions League game, and then they have to come back and play a Premier League game just a few days later. Like, they don't care about these things. All they care about is the TV rights. All they care about is how much money they can make out of it. And yeah, it's frustrating, but unfortunately, this is just the way football is going. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, what do you think of the Qatar World Cup? Do you think that it's going to have an impact in terms of injuries to players, or do you not care? I'm Omar. I'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.